Good evening. This is Daniel Lake. I'm talking to you today on April the 4th, 2026. I'm going to be talking mainly in English. I will be joined by some of my brothers who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. The topic for tonight is information sharing about how to join the military in the United States. The reason we are doing this, as we all know, that information is power. There are people who might be seeking ways on how to join the US military, but they just don't know how. Some end up enlisting through least best route, actually, because they did not have enough information. But I want to highlight a few things in Dinka so that those who don't understand English will know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to wait for a few minutes. Some of my brothers are traveling, the veterans who have served in the United States Army and those who are still serving and other branches. So this is the show that we're just going to leave here. It doesn't matter if one person come or 10 people or many people. It's an information that we're going to make available for today or later. So we koi bikin la ping na tong jeng Daniel Lake ka jamane kul ngadi ke le mit ko che man mi da ben be school age high school ke colleges ko ko ju ke ka Quran ke kwer ben school e charping a Quran ke a chiran ke nam kwer bete ben pi de ben got ke services in the United States Army is a ye ko ju ke rio bara ko ku bu ben chere tonight ye kangu piata tin ku kangu raita tin ku ye kwero na chalum ken bidi kan yin ke kar bakan le ko che mit ken di ta America tane ko ju ja rio manande men dia cha kor bla je nya America achan je nya America en ko no tin je ben en ko no tin lekin je nya America ke twen bakan le America tane men med ban arun ke tier ku ber le nyal ku botong di wen tiam America re ki chak to je ki imbedil la je kana cho selective service to kana med ban ran to America no whether in bo wala in di dena so ya kana mu wani kana ka yen piat ba je America ba join in your own terms. So we merken ke mi doge diara retet je America anong ka woni ko ngirias but a kirshir kat ko America tana so an blokan an di ta show I can ko tiet ke abagi in 5 minutes and then abagi in about 1 minute didn't we walk just to spice things up a little bit, so please share. This is your brother Daniel Lake. I'll be speaking mainly in English because we're reaching out to the youth. This is just information sharing. It's not recruitment or anything like that. Please share the show. As soon as this song ends, I will start. All right. My people, I know there are many shows out there that are talking different topics. I chose this topic because um, when I first came to this country, I did not know a lot about US military service, the benefits, the risk, and the right way to join. So I thought to myself, this information I know if I share it with somebody, if we share it, there are many South Sudanese who are serving now in the US Armed Forces. And we believe that if we share this information and make it available to public, it will benefit a young person and the parents as well. So this is not a hot topic, and that's why a lot of people come and then leave, and that's okay. But it's an information that is going to be available here for anyone who may need it later. Okay. So my colleagues who have served in the United States military, Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy, they will be joining me here later when they get a chance. But I will start by saying this. U.S. military service is not an obligation, it's no conscription, it's a choice. Okay, it's a voluntary service, but it has a lot of benefits to the individuals who join. Okay, but what I would like to clear first is the fear that we, the immigrant families, have toward the military service. When we come to this country as grown adults, we start at the bottom of the American workforce. But when we have our children, it is a dream of every parent that your children join the workforce that will help them in their career progression so that when the time comes that they become adults out there, they can compete fairly with their peers of the same age. That is where the military service come in. Military service is not easy. It's hard, yes, but it has a lot of benefits. It is risky, yes, but it's just like any other career that a child may choose. It has economic advantage because it provides young people with the skills and fast track their growth than their peers who choose the civil route. Okay, the risks are just as like if you were to choose the route of being a truck driver or a taxi driver. There are many benefits. Okay, the young people who join are given the skills that the peers cannot access outside of the U.S. military unless you pay for them. They also have educational benefits. So how do you join? Okay, I'm not going to ramble a lot about this topic because it's not the most favorite topic, but it's a topic that may help a young person who want to take that risky step. Okay, so there are ways that you can join the military. Every city in the United States, small or big, has what is known as MAPS. Okay, or military entrance processing station. Okay, there are recruiters everywhere. If you Google map in your own city, maps, you will find it. Okay, the nearest military entrance processing station in your city. You can go there. If you are a parent, you can go with your child to inquire and ask information. Okay, if your child is interested in joining the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine, or the Army, they can go to that particular office. They're usually in the same building. So you can go there and inquire information. Now, there are ways for children to enter. They have to have clean records. Okay. There are waivers, some things that the Army or the military in general are willing to waive, but there are certain records that they cannot waive. Also, there are medical limitations that your child have to go through. But if you are interested or you want your child to have this route, you can take that child there. Now, the child has two choices. He can enlist by going to the boot camp and do a basic training, okay, which is usually about 2 to 3 months. And then from there, after basic training, they are assigned their specific job that they have chosen or assigned to. And then they go to what is called AIT, Army Individual Training. Okay. That is where a child or a soldier now or a Marine is now specializing in their own set of skills for their job that they have chosen. And after that, they will graduate and be assigned to their duty location if they are in active duty. If they have chosen the National Guard, then they will go back to their state because National Guard belong to their state, and then they will work there in their state. If they have chosen the reserve, then they will go to the reserve. The difference between active duty, reserve, and the National Guard is this. In the active duty, that is your full-time job. So when a child graduates from basic training and they specialize in their job in the AIT, then they get assigned to a duty station like Fort Hood, Fort Bragg, wherever the Army need them, or the Marine Corps in the case of the Marines, Air Force, and the Navy. And then they will serve at their duty, the first duty station, and then the Army will, the military will work with them from there, and they will grow. There are initial 4 years commitment for every enlistment, okay? So that is the first route if you want to go enlist, okay? There is another route. It's an officership route for those kids with a high school score that are good and they are candidate for universities or college. If your child is interested in the military service to help them pay for the college because it can, then your child can seek the route of ROTC, Reserve Officer Training course. Every major university has an ROTC branch, okay? They have an ROTC campus there. Your child can go there and talk to the ROTC people there. The child can enroll in the ROTC program while they are concurrently studying their civilian education. 4 years later, when your child successfully graduates with their university degree, a civilian degree, they will also be commissioned as a second lieutenant from the U.S. military of their choice, Army, Marine, Air Force, or the Navy, okay? And then they will go through the officer basic training, the basic officer courses. And then from there, they will go through the route of their choice, the job that they have been assigned to. That is the officership route. All right, I need to bring someone in here. All right, with me here, let me so for those who are watching, with me here is Emmanuel Bajo. In the military, he is a man of a very high rank at our level. He's a major, and he's an engineer. So he will talk about the importance of military education that could be translated into civilian life. So welcome, brother. Can you hear me? Okay. So
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
others will join as time goes because we are doing different things. Emmanuel is just traveling and graciously found time to grace us for a few minutes. So I appreciate him being here. But like I was saying earlier, there are two routes to join the military. And for the parents, you can be assured that your child will be okay. Okay. Like anything else, there are risks. And we can talk about those risks, but the benefits are enormous. And we want to encourage our youth in the state of just coming out of high school, accumulate debts, and then go to corporate America in a way that you may not climb very fast in the ladder. You could join the army. If you do it right, you will come out right. Okay. So I'm going to welcome my brother Emmanuel um, to put in his wisdom, and then he has been traveling, so we might have to excuse him early, but I like to give him a chance right now. So, brother, welcome.
Hey, brother, Dr. Lake, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. First and foremost, hey, I appreciate the opportunity to join your platform and to speak on behalf of our service members with regards to the importance of being in the military and or joining the military. Are you still reading me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes. So, as Brother Dr. Lake has alluded to, my name is Emmanuel Bago, Major Emmanuel Bago, um, United States military. I've been in the military for about 13 years right now. Came in as a commission in the engineer regiment as an engineer officer in 2013. And in 2020, I transfer to the acquisition corps. So background engineer, currently Army acquisition officer. Um, with regards to the topic, um, why join the Army and why be on the path that I was on? For me, from the onset, the largest part of me joining the Army was the education, right? The education opportunity. I came into the military having held a bachelor's degree already from the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. And one of my goals, one of my short term goals joining the military was to attain my master's degree. And I could say I was able to attain a master's degree when I joined the military almost immediately within the first 36 months of being in the military. I was fortunate enough being in the engineer regiment in the engineer corps, where at the 3 year mark we get to go back and part of our professional military education to work on our next level of education, which is a captain's career course. So as a captain, I had to go back, and in conjunction with captain's career course, I had the opportunity to work on my master's and get my master's in systems engineering. Bottom line, the military is a profession. The army is the profession of arms. Unlike other militaries, the United States military is professional in the way that as an army non-commissioned officer, as an army officer, commissioned officer, there are certain gates in your professional military education level that you have to meet. So as soon as you're commissioned, you are sent to a basic officer course. You become a lieutenant, then a second lieutenant first, then a first lieutenant. Then eventually you become a captain. Part of your promotion to becoming a captain, you're required to go back to school and get your level two professional military education. And once you get promoted to the rank of major as well, you're required to go back to military education to get level four of your professional military education through the intermediate level education. Parallel, while you're pursuing your professional military education, there are opportunities that are afforded to you on the civilian side, on the civil education side. And as such, part of the expectation of rising in the rank in the military is as an officer, you're coming in with a bachelor's degree. At some point before you become a field grade level, i.e., a major or a lieutenant colonel, you're expected to attain certain level of education from the civilian sector. That's where your master's degree becomes important. As I have alluded to earlier, somewhere between my third and fourth year, I was able to go back to my professional military education to complete my captain's career course. And in conjunction with that, I was able to pursue my master's degree. Many paths are available to you as a active duty service member. You could work on your personal time to pursue your education, to get your higher education. If you didn't have your 4 year degree, you could work on that. If you had your 4 year degree like I had and I wanted to pursue my master's, I could do that on my own time. That's one way, one route of doing that. Another route of doing it is through a professional degree program. When I was in the Engineer Corps had a program for us where you are going to school for professional military education and at the same time you're getting credits for higher graduate level education. And I did that concurrently. It, to be honest, it sucked because I was in military school from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 p.m. And then from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m., I was doing civilian education. Did that for about 6 months before I became a full time master's degree student in a civilian education, civilian school. Another avenue to pursuing your higher education is through um, the Army Advanced Civil Schooling (ACS), Advanced Civil Schooling. Through Advanced Civil Schoolings, you are allowed the opportunity to pursue higher education, i.e., a master's degree, through some of the most prestigious institutions within the United States. That would allow you to pursue your education and get your 4 year degree while you're away from the military up to 2 years. And in return, you owe the military some uh, some obligatory service terms. That is, give me 1 second. I apologize for that. So part of earning your higher education degree, you incur some additional duty service obligation that is typically paid concurrently with your current military service obligation. So if you went and pursue a 2 year graduate level degree, you owe for every day that you're in school, you owe the military, let's say, 3 days. Once you get your degree, you are paying those 3 days concurrent to whatever contract that you have going on. And for most of us that are staying in long term, that that balances to a zero anyway. Because if my intention is to stay in the military long term, what is a 3 year additional duty service obligation if I am serving it concurrently to my current service contract anyway? So, with that being said, Dr. Lake, I'll pause and see if you have any other follow up questions.
All right. Thank you, Brother Emmanuel. And thank you, the few who are watching us. I know this may not be a hot topic right now, but it is essential for our community members to know. If you can elaborate a little bit on the enlisted side, um, the benefits, because there's a lot of fear out there. The parents are actually the ones who discourage their young. The young kids want to join the military. They want to be able to embark on a journey that will help them. But a lot of parents are like, you came from the war, um, and now you want to join the military. Why would you want to do that? Can you talk a little bit about the fear and talk to the fears of the parents, and you know, just to kind of put them to ease that the U.S. military is like any other profession. There are risks, but there are great opportunities for safety.
Nope, absolutely right. I'll go ahead and give you an anecdote too, right? I graduated high school back in 2002, Oak Ridge High, Orlando, Florida. Um, First year in college, first semester, one of my best friends decided to join the military once Afghanistan kicked off, and my buddy Frank was shipping out, right? So I wanted to join. I wanted to join so bad, right? And my mom was like, "No, hell, but hell no, you are not going." We did not escape, whatever civil war situation, civil unrest, and all of the atrocities back home, so you could come and join the United States Armed Forces, right? It was just counterintuitive to think that somebody is running from war only to turn around and join the military and to potentially be shipped out. So she was mortified by that idea and just didn't want me to join or any of my brothers for that fact. One of my brothers ended up joining the Navy in '04. My other brother, though, did not join. He was a translator for the U.S. military in Iraq from '05 till 2011. So he was in Iraq the entire time, taking perhaps no more than 2 weeks off every year as a vacation. But he was in Iraq the entire time. And my mom was just like, no, you guys, And then when it was me, I'm the youngest brother, the youngest son. She absolutely said no, not no, but hell no, you can't do that. But that is a valid fear. That is a fear that is prevalent in our Sudanese community. Whenever we think of the military, I think a lot of us have been traumatized by the events of by their upbringing, right? Growing up in a war zone, growing up in a situation where you don't know what tomorrow may hold, and some of us had to you know either hold a deceased or a maimed and or bury a loved one that has been lost due to the conflict that was ensuing between the Sudanese army in the north and the SPLA in the south, right? So with that being said, yes, that fear is valid, but as our brother Dr. Legg has alluded to, the U.S. military is a profession, right? It is a profession no different than being a doctor, or being a police officer, firefighter, or being a nurse. I mean, if I could just take you guys about 6 years back, to that Black Summer, right? Summer of 2020. I was just coming back from Korea, and COVID was shutting down the entire world, and we were just seeing everything, right? And if you would go back to that time in space and just relive that for a second, who was truly in that line of danger, right? It was your healthcare providers, your nurses, your doctors. Um, the point to that is every profession has its own set of, I don't want to say dangers, but cons, right? There's always going to be some pros in each profession. There's always going to be some cons in each profession. And unfortunately, with the military, especially for us South Sudanese parents, the stigma of military is that the first thing that comes to their mind is death, right? And to try to change the narrative, right? There's a lot of South Sudanese sons and daughters in the United States military. It'd be the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine, um, and hopefully soon the Space Force. Right, for some of you guys that are listening out there, this new service called the Space Force. Right, that's the final frontier. Um, Between all of us within these different services within the United States Armed Forces, this could be actually that testament, right? That you don't have to think of the military as a bad option for your son or your daughter. Um, within our ranks, we have officers, we have non-commissioned officers, we have warrant officers, we have those who have served 3 years, we have those who have served over 20 years. Um, but at the end of the day, it's a profession. It's a profession just like being in the medical field. It's a profession just like being an attorney. Because at the end of the day, what is the definition of a profession? A profession is a self-policing body, self-governing body, and we in the military we're the same. We have our Uniform Code of Military Justice (UCMJ) that governs us, that hold us to the standards that we in the military are known for, right? Um, in the event that there is still further doubt, right, in any parent's mind or any youth mind, right, that's thinking about joining, right? Uh, what I've the description that I've given you is just an overarching, right? A cruising altitude description of why the military is a profession compared to the other profession. But within the military, there is what they call the MOS, military occupational specialties, MOSs. These are essentially the different types of jobs that are within the military. And if you aspire to be a an engineer, there is a military occupational specialty for you. If you aspire to be a nurse, there is a military occupational specialty for you, an MOS. If you aspire to be anything in the healthcare field, I'm pretty sure there's an MOS that would align with that goal of yours. Uh, Off the top of my head, and I apologize, Dr. Lake, I don't know how many MOSs there are, but there's close to hundreds between the different services. Um, and if you're considering joining the military, it all it takes is just doing the homework. Just a basic research into military occupational specialties, and you will have a list of specialties or jobs within the military, either within the Army, Navy, Air Force, or otherwise, and you will quickly realize that being in the military is no different than being in the private sector, except it just has a little bit more discipline, because we have a much more higher ethical standards in the military. We have a much more rigorous uh, code of military justice that we are upheld to. Other than that, deployments comes, deployment go. But other than that, for the most part, military is a profession just like any other profession. We hold ourselves accountable. We have standards that we have to live by, and at the end of the day, we here to serve the American people. And there's nothing more rewarding than self-sacrifice and service to the others. Off to you, Dr. Lake. You're on mute.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother Emmanuel. I know you've been traveling all day, but giving yourself time to share your story and the importance of military service and the benefits with our people is very commendable. So at this time, I'm not going to hold you long. Our brother, Chief Peter Buer, I think he's out with his family. He will not be joining us. The same with our brother Gao. I know Joseph was going to be available, but he might be beat since the two of you are traveling. But what you have contributed is good enough. This is a very critical topic, but it's not something that we can beat and cover in one day. So you're welcome to stay, but if you want to go refresh, um, I'm okay with that. I really appreciate you coming here and the information you shared. I hope will help the families and the young people who are seeking opportunities. So thank you so much.
No, pleasure is all mine, brother. Again, I apologize. I was running behind schedule a little bit, given that I'm traveling, and a little bit underprepared, which is uncharacteristic. So, as you have alluded to, this can't be a one and done conversation. Um, this can't be a one time conversation. It has to be a series, right? Because um, as much as the youth are listening today, I think there's still more out there that could be listening, right? And then um, I may not, like I say, I'm an officer, just like you. I'm not an enlisted guy, so there's a much different outlook and perspective from some of the enlisted guys, and the warrant officers, right? So, and some of them have done 20 plus years, and collectively, honestly, a small group, between all of us, there's collectively probably over 200 years of experience. I'm only just providing a small insight into what life in the military is like for an officer that may or may not have seen everything the military has to offer, right? So I encourage you to make this a series. Um, don't just make it today and that's it. The graduation season should be a season, not just a point in time. So we start the engagement as early as now, and we could have the series go on even past graduation season and into
Right.
the fall, right? Because not everybody coming out of high school immediately knows exactly what they want to do with their life, right? So piece by piece, bit by bit, I'm pretty sure we'll reach every willing and listening ear out there, and I'm willing to come back and uh, answer more questions, and hopefully some of my brothers and sisters in arms will be here, because collectively I think we have far more to offer than you and I alone.
Yep. Well, thank you. And you're right. This is not going to be just a one-time discussion. We had one video, remember last time, and this is our second. And hopefully, right after high school, we will do another one. And there are parents who reach out to me, and that's what motivated me to do this. And there are young people who are actually enlisting. But I thought to myself, maybe if they know that they have more options, like a kid who is destined for college, who has good grades and can go to university, that child could take an officer route, right? We have Joseph Jal just joined us. Um, so welcome, brother Joseph. You see, our community has many veterans and many people who are serving currently, and a wealth of knowledge. So, as Emmanuel alluded to earlier, we have more than if add together my 17 years and Joseph over 20 years. If we put all these things together and Emmanuel over 15 years of service, if we put this thing together, it will hit 200 plus years of knowledge. So we're excited and we want to give to our community. We want to share the route we've taken and the benefits it has given to us. Like you have heard earlier when Emmanuel shared his path on how he was able to attain his master's degree, a civilian degree that if he leaves the military today will benefit him and he will have an upper hand compared to his peers whom he graduated from high school some years ago. You know, some of them are now maybe working at Walmart, but right now he has the upper hand simply because of the military uh, edge that was given to him. So thank you, Brother Emmanuel. You're welcome to stay, but if you want to go refresh, I know both of you have been traveling. If you want to go refresh, we can give the stage to Joseph, and then we'll go from there. So thank you so much.
No worries, brother. I'll stick around for a little bit if you don't mind. If
All right.
I when I commit to something, I like to give 110% of my time. That's just
There
who
you
I
go.
am. So I'm not gonna, I almost used a bad army word here. I'm not gonna give it half of my effort, right? So I'm gonna give you my time, and again, apologies for the delay entry. And
Sorry
I'll
about
stick
it.
around as long as you need me.
All right. We'll have the next 20 minutes if there are questions. I'm monitoring here and I have not seen any question yet. But I think our people are listening. And this one is being recorded on YouTube as well. So young people will have access to it later on. So thank you for giving your time. Um, Brother Jal, welcome.
Thank you, first of all, for the background noise, and due to my kid is playing around here, so thank you for the time. And sorry also I was with Ima, and it taking time to come here, and thank you for the right topic. So
It's all right, brother. We have covered few topics, but if you would talk to us a little bit about the enlisted side, what it took from enlistment, the initial going to the MEPS, and then all the way going to the boot camp and coming out on the other end, and just the life in general in the military, the pros and cons of it. Just if you could just touch a little bit, because there are parents out there who are worried about their children going to the military, and there's also a myth that black soldiers are usually the first to be sent to the front line whenever there's war, and they're the first to be mistreated and things like that. So there are a lot of myths that we just need to kind of spell out in our community. So if you could just go ahead and touch base. Thank you.
thank you. Give me a second. Let me move from here, and I can answer you.
Okay. So while he's moving, while Jal is moving, I just want to add a little bit. There is no such thing as this group of people and this group of people in the military. Even if there is subtle discrimination, there are laws against it. And in the United States of America, the U.S. Armed Forces are the most self-policing institutions that you can find in the U.S. Okay, there are individuals who like to bend the laws, yes, but they don't get away with it for a long time. If they are found, they are pressed against and they are persecuted. And in the military, I've been in the U.S. Army for 17 years, and yes, I met people who felt like I didn't belong there, but they had no way of getting to me because there is a UCMJ. That's the Military Code of Justice, the U.S. Armed Forces, U.S. Army, U.S. Military Code of Military Justice. So that code itself, it describes how to conduct yourself. It describes how to treat others. It describes how you could be punished if you break the laws or if you mistreat other people. Okay, humans are humans, so there are times when some leaders try to impose their wills and do things their way or how they feel, but they don't get away with it. So U.S. military, all the African young people who have joined the military are living their best. Beside the general risk that come with the job, they are progressing as they should in their careers. You know, if they come as enlisted, they are being promoted like everyone else. If they do their job right, they get promoted. They get reviewed like everyone else. The same with officers. There is no blatant discrimination in the military, and that's what motivated me to join. You know, I didn't join like Emmanuel. Emmanuel was a young person seeking how to start his life. I was already a father and a husband. I was looking for a stability. So when I joined the U.S. Army, I was looking for a job where I would not be fired in one afternoon as long as I do my job. Okay. And true to the blessed soul or blessed spirit that touched my heart and gave me encouragement to join the military, it has been so for my family. And I have a large family, which could have been very difficult had I chose the civilian route. Okay, so I'm grateful, and I can talk about my own personal experience afterward. But I'm going to yield to our brother Jal right now. So thank you.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Lake, for the opportunity, and also to the viewers that are watching us around the world. I greet you guys all. Might be morning wherever you are, afternoon, some part of the world, and also nighttime in North America. Regarding to the join the military as enlisted, uh, it depends to what kind of MOS that you need. Because mainly when you talk to the recruiters, especially for myself, I can talk to on my own behalf because when I joined, I didn't have like a mentorship to say, hey, Jal, do this, do that. This is the thing that you need to do. This is the thing that you should not do. So everything like learn as as I go. So being when I joined, like now for a lot of South Sudanese or Sudan, they are U.S. citizen. But when I joined, I wasn't a U.S. citizen, so it took me a while to get the job that I need. So I did a delay entry because if you are not a citizen, you can join, but it has to take time for you uh, to actually go to basic training. So there's a process you have to do a background check, and then after that, take the test, go to maps. So the process was good. But if you don't have a good mentorship or you don't know like, hey, this is what's gonna go, you might get a job that you might not want. But that's not the showstopper. That's a give you a window when you join, and then now you can decide what other job that you wanna pursue. So there's a lot of opportunities, in the main join as enlisted. A little bit different because with the officers, like for enlisted, because I was. So you go through as a if you got a degree, you can enter as a private first class, meaning that you got the being E3, or being E2, private second class, and then after that, the process is when you finish basic training, you have to go through a time in service, time in grade. It's a long process, but enlisted is a route that is easy when you do your job and follow the military bearing. Now you can get the rank for the next one. So E1 to E4, there's no um, like review. It's just a performance base. What kind of job that are you doing? And then after that, you can go a different path. And then when you want to go to E5, that means that sergeant. Then now you go to the board. In that case. So a lot of regarding to the enlisted, if you make a mistake, then yes, you're gonna lose. You broke the law, you're gonna lose the rank, and then get everything. So overall, it's good to take. To me, it took me a while to go, so about a month before I joined the military. But I did assign, and then after that, I joined the basic training until the time go by. So I hope that answer your question, and then the others thing that you want to ask, doctor, let me know.
All right, thank you. The myth that we cover a little bit earlier, but I also want you to talk about from the enlisted side of the house, how soldiers are treated, how you know non-white soldiers are treated. Is there discrimination? Career progression? Is it based on performance, or are there discriminations just like in corporate America? If you could talk to that a little bit, and also how you've been able to grow through your ranks to now retirement as a retired serviceman. How did that happen, and what kind of how do you address the fears of parents who are saying, oh, I don't want my child to go there, or a young person who say, I will be mistreated, I'll be the one who do the dirty job and stuff like that. As an enlisted, how did what is your experience, if you could share that?
Hey, thank you, Doug. If you do your job, you should not, because in the military it's the same thing that anywhere that you will be. It's a job base. Everything you do, you have to do the job and then continue going. It's a performance base in everything that you do. So just like the normal being in the civilian, if you show up late at work several times, you have to be your supervisor will tell you like, hey, what happened? You have to have a reason why you are late. It's the same thing to the military. So I will answer the in the form of parents like saying that, oh, I don't want my child or my son or daughter to join the military, in order to worry in the life that is going to go or how they're going to be military give you a discipline. It's not something that you're going to be afraid like, oh, my child going to be mistreated. No, there's a way that they can treat you if you the performing, you do your job, and make sure that you have the tolerance. One thing that we have to say is, as a South Sudanese, we have that if a young if a young sergeant is talking to an older E4, especially if E4 is a South Sudanese, we got that issue of like, hey, I'm older than you. That's one of the problems that they might be worried about. But that's not the case. If you swallow that pride, you'll be fine. That's what I can share with that, not to be worried. And that's the way I did, like, hey, let's see who's that in that position. Now I can listen, what is the job about, and then do my part, do my job, make sure that I can do the performance that base. So initiative, anything you see something, do it. Don't let somebody else say, hey, I wasn't told to do it. You see something wrong, fix it. And that's what will make you see a problem, make sure you discuss it, solve it, and then continue with the way that swallow your pride and continue to do the job. And that will make you to become successful in the military.
You hit a very critical point there, brother. Pride, our cultural upbringing. Sometime when we come to the U.S. military, and we come as big people, and then you find yourself under a younger person who is superior to you. That struggle is real. I remember a time when one of the kids, he was not South Sudanese, but he's from West Africa. I believe he was from Mali, and this kid came in as a private, PB1. When he came in, his supervisor, an NCO sergeant, was a younger person. I think this guy was about 24, but his supervisor was more like 20, 21. And every time he's assigned a duty, he got mad and he got into a fight. And it went like that for a long time until I called him in one day and I sat him down and I talked to him. I say, brother, the institution you've joined has rules and has ways of doing things. You need to humble yourself a little. Where you are right now is the lowest of all the military, but you're not going to be there long if you just humble yourself and follow the instructions, follow the rules. I told him, why did you join? I asked him, and then he explained to me. I say, stick to that. If you join so you can have opportunity to provide for your family, then humble yourself, swallow your pride, and do what you're told. Be where you are told to be, do what you're told to do, and obey the laws and stay out of trouble. Don't fight, because if you fight, it will take away your rank, and taking away your rank will take away your pay and will delay your career progression. So pride is a big thing for us Africans, not just South Sudanese. But if you humble yourself and you follow the rules, the army is the most structured. Even if your child is that child that has to be told, that has to be held by hand, military is actually the right place for your child to grow. You're told when to wake up. You're told when to go to the gym. You're told when to eat. You're told when to be at a certain point. So there's nothing that you do by yourself in the military. Okay. We have about 6 minutes left because I like to keep this under 1 hour. So if each of you could just talk to benefits a little bit, financial benefit, health benefit, including personal health that the military pay you to go to the gym, and life coverage like life insurance and financial part of it. Just the general benefit of being in the military so that parents have that comparison and young people have that comparison. So I will yield to you, Emmanuel, and then Joseph, And then if we could go a little bit, we'll go over. But that's the area that I want us to cover. So please go ahead.
No, appreciate it. Thank you again. Obviously, the military comes with a lot of benefits, right? The, a lot of my peers that do the same kind of work that I do in the civilian sector, they do make a little bit more than me. But at the end of the day, it's the job security that you've alluded to earlier. Oh, by the way, I did join having been married and I've had a child too. So definitely that security was
You're
part
too
of it.
young compared to me, so that's what
Nope, I got you. But looking at it from I'm gonna just try to bucket it into three buckets, right? Financial compensation, then you have the education and career development, and then the
help.
health and life insurance that you kind of alluded to, right? When it comes to financial compensation, depending on the MOS, the military occupational specialist that you're joining, off the bat, sometimes some MOSs gives you bonus, right? I've seen people get an enlistment bonus as high as 50K just because there is critical shortage in that job within the military, right? Once you're in, depends on your housing situation. Most of us that are married or most of us that are E5 sergeant and above, you get basic allowance for housing, right? That is essentially the army paying, the military paying my mortgage for me, right? I mean, point in any sector within the civilian workforce where you are getting, depending on your rank and your zip code, roughly anywhere from 1,800 to about $2,500 a month to pay for your housing situation. That's called a housing allowance. I already talked the enlistment bonus and then special pay, depending where you at. You know, you might be getting special pay. When I was in Korea, I got special pay. If you are in a very, very high expensive places like Hawaii, you get something called COLA, cost of living allowance, to give on top of your salary and benefits. They're gonna give you an additional pay to help offset the cost of living in the locale where you live in. So that's kind of like wave taps on the financial side. When it comes to education and career development, I kind of alluded to earlier that the Army gives you several paths to pursue your degrees, either your 4 year degree or your graduate level degree, right? Something I use as part of my graduate level degree, something called TA, tuition assistance. The military gives you about $4,000 for each service member, for each soldier every year to get after your education. I've used that and I've used it to pay for about 80% of my master's degree. And then the remaining 20%, I could have chose to pay with something called GI Bill. GI Bill is our education benefits that's available to any service member who has completed at least 90 days in the workforce. You qualify. That is 100% tuition. If you want to go to a 4 year institution, you could use that while you're in service or after you separate from service. In my case, since I was $2,000 away from getting my master's degree, I decided not to use my GI Bill. I just went ahead and paid the remaining balance out of pocket after using the tuition assistance, 4,000 for the first year, 4,000 for the second year, and all I did was elected to keep my GI Bill untouched, and this is a benefits that will be going to my children that they can use. Um, Depends on the terms of your contract or when you come into the military or the occupational specialty you pick. There's something called student loan repayment. You know, this is something that the military or the army is willing to do, pay for up to like 65K. I believe last time I checked was 65,000 US dollar to pay for your education if you come in into the military, and not to mention professional skills, right? Any occupational specialty you could think of is within the military. Whether you want to be a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, you want to be in the healthcare, a dietitian, a nurse, a lobotomist, a whatever it is. If you want to be a paralegal, if you've completed your 4 year degree already, then a lot more work, a lot more opportunity is actually open to you. If you've completed, let's say you're doing pre med and you want to go to medical school, there is Uniform Services Healthcare University out of Bethesda, Maryland, where you could go and become a doctor, a dentist, or whatever it is. Uh, so I'm a stop right there and then move on to the next one, the healthcare and insurance, right? We all know healthcare is expensive. Health insurance is expensive. Uh, Currently, for me, my wife, and three children, a family of five, everyone is 100% covered through our through the Army's TRICARE Prime program, health insurance. Um, the only expense, so healthcare is covered, vision is covered. I think the only thing I pay for is dental. For myself is covered, but for my kids, for my wife and my kids, I think for the rest of the family, I pay about $24 or $34 in dental care. Other than that, the family is 100% covered. I could go anywhere within this country, worldwide. All I gotta tell them is I'm a military. They'll ask me for military ID, and that's it. I never have to present military insurance. Life insurance, service group life insurance, something that every service member is eligible to as soon as you come in. $500,000 is of guaranteed SGLI service group life insurance that goes to in the event, and God forbid, in the event anything happens to you for whatever reason, there's a life insurance that covers you. I think these are the big areas of benefits, Dr. Lake, and or Brother Jal, if you could add more. Of course, the 30 days paid vacation every year, 401k, and all that stuff, travel opportunities, and the second and third order benefits that are not apparent at the superficial level, but it's there. But other than that, I'll go ahead and yield to you, Brother Jal, to add if there's anything I've missed.
Hey, thank you, Brother Ima. Thank you, Dr. Lake. Ima already said all the things that we're supposed to say. What are the benefits that we have? To me, I use it from associate all the way to masters. So that's the benefit that you can use the military pay for it. So that's something that you can leverage in every time you go. So if you do it every year, one class at a time, is a benefit for you. You can chip in a little bit from your own. You don't have to have a loan when you're in the military. So that's a benefit for in that part of it. And then also, the military will train you a skill that you will never get anywhere. You can get out today and use the same skills to get a job outside in the sleeping world. So you got like different hats, different knowledge that you can use. You can start it whether you become from the construction all the way to be a lawyer. You start from A to Z in anything that you can remember that you want to learn, including the language. You can get it. So is it advantage? We can talk more in the future. I know Dr. Lake said there's a time uh, constraints, but as time go by, you can learn what are the things that it could be easy for you. If you join today, you get out today. What can you do? The military is the right path that show you and train you and use the skill that leadership skill, consulting skill, training skill, and also other part, whether trade or skill that you can get from the military. Um, Dr. Lake, I yield back to you. Thank you for the time, and hoping next time we can talk more in regarding to these topics.
All right, thank you, my brothers. If I could share my own story a little bit on how I joined the military and why. It was in 2007. That's when I decided to join. We had four children, and the fifth child was on the way. And I was working at the bank. Life was not easy, and I was scared. Two of my cousins were going doing their masters at the North Dakota State University, and they were also enrolled in the ROTC. One of them is Major Erjo Kayor. He's currently in the active duty, and Chol Mayom, Captain Chol, he got out some years back. These individuals called me, into their office where they were studying for their masters. I saw them in uniform. It was on Thursday, and every Thursday, ROTC cadets wear their uniform. So I asked them, hey guys, what's this? They explained to me and they encouraged me to go do research. So I went and did the research on ROTC. I was able to pick up multiple benefits from there, but what caught my eyes and what sold me was the stability of the job and the growth with time. I was able to conclude that if I join the military and successfully finish the ROTC and earn my commission, I'll be able to grow with time, and I will have financial stability. I'll have health care for me and my family. Because as our brother Emmanuel alluded to earlier, healthcare is very expensive in the United States. A family of 5 or a family of 6, in my case, with the baby that was coming on the way, by the time you take the paycheck home, a chunk of it is taken by the healthcare in the civilian world. So joining the military convinced me that I'll be covered, my family will be covered, and my paycheck will not be touched as much. So I joined the ROTC in 2007. And then in 2009, that's when I commissioned. Okay, I joined late. I was already 2 years into my program, but I had to do waivers. They give me some waivers. Normally, it's a 4-year commitment to start the ROTC to the finish, but I was already almost done with my degree. They did waivers for me, and they let me in within 2 years. So when I commissioned, I went through the processes of the basic officer training, and then I went to my first duty station. The other thing that I want to add is the benefit of military or the U.S. government signing as a guarantor if you want to buy the house. You don't pay anything, okay? These are extra benefits to what our brother Emmanuel and our brother Joseph Jal talked about earlier. There are a lot of privileges that the military personnel have, and that's why people take risks, even if you know that something will happen to you. I told myself when my mom confronted me and my siblings, they say, you were in the SPLA, you know what war feel like. Why are you joining the military? I say, I'm not joining because I love the military. I'm joining because this is the only thing that convinced me that my family will be taken care of. And even if something happened to me, my children will have benefits that can carry them through to the next level until they're able to take care of themselves. So there was that assurance. And that's the risk that a lot of people take, knowing that you could die or you could get injured. But the fact that there are a lot of benefits, even to my children right now, or children of every service member, they have advantage. Like when you go apply for a job or apply for a scholarship, there's a question that asks, do you have a family member who have served in the military? If the answer is yes, you are automatically on top of the list, okay? And you have that point, that 10 point, and it gives you an upper hand in every opportunity to open doors for you. And that is why we want to encourage our young people, our community members, to consider this route, okay? And like Emmanuel said earlier, you don't have to be an infantry. You can be a logistician in a logistic area. You can be AG. I've been an AG for the last 17 years, administrative officer. I've gone to Afghanistan, okay? Soldiers who were in the combat arms, they get out of the wire, but I'm inside the wire. Yes, there were risks. We were bombed inside, but I am not assigned to combat arms, so I didn't go toe to toe with the enemy. And so if the parents are worried about your child taking up arms and confronting the enemy, there are jobs that a lot of people could do. But don't get me wrong, everyone in the uniform is trained first to be a soldier to fight, okay? And then second, to do your job. But there are segmentations in the work. That's so it kind of reduced the risk and the anxiety of family members there. We will cover everything else later on. I just want to highlight some of our brothers who are out there ready to help. Our brother Agao Granga Agao, he just got out of the military. He just retired after 20 plus years. He is a very compassionate person, and he's willing to help anybody. Look him up on Facebook, or if you're interested, I can connect you or your family with him. He'd be able to help you. And the three of us here, we are available and we can help. Our brother, Chief Burekwit, he took the enlisted route and now he's a warrant officer, the most skilled soldier in the United States military. You know, you can talk to him. He'll be able to walk you through the processes. He can help you. The key is mentorship. We are offering to be mentors to our young people who are coming up, who want to join the military, but just don't know how. So we're not here to recruit anybody. Military is not for everybody. It's hard. It's hard. You have to wake up at a certain time. You have to stay disciplined, you know, and you have to follow certain rules. You cannot just do whatever you want, you know. So it's not for everybody, but the benefits are enormous, and the benefits transfer over to your families. Like Emmanuel was saying earlier, he's able to pass on his GI Bill to his family, his wife, or his children. That is the educational benefit that could enable them to finish college without extra loans. So we can talk about a lot of benefits, but tonight we just want to let you know that you have an option. Okay, you have an option, and not a child coming out of high school and just work at McDonald's or Walmart or some assembly line. We have opportunity in America to work at par with the Americans who are born here. We just need to know where to look, who to talk to. So, brothers, if you have a point or two to add, and then we'll close the show. Thank you.
Appreciate it again, Dr. Lake. Just three quick points, Spartan shots from my part, from my side here. Number one, profession, right? The military is a profession. The army is a profession of arms, right? Just like any other profession within this country, within the United States, we are self-policing, we are self-governing, and there are sets of rules that we abide by. Point number two, occupational hazard. Yes, there are some. I'm not gonna say it's all dreamy in the military. There are occupational hazard, just like in any other profession, that is associated with the military. Depending on your military occupational type, like Dr. Lake was saying, he's been an administrative officer, AG, all his 17 years, didn't have to do anything crazy. My previous job as an engineer officer, I did combat engineering, where you do play with a lot of explosives. There's different hazards. It's no different than a nurse during the COVID environment. It's no different than a lineman that goes and fix your power line when the hurricane hits, right? They're all occupational hazard. Number three, if you are thinking about joining the military, do your homework, right? Military doesn't equal army, right? There's different branches, different services within the military. There's Navy, there's Air Force, there's the Army, there's the Marine Corps within the Navy, there's the Space Force within the Department of the Air Force. These are all different opportunities with multitudes of occupational specialties or jobs that are available to you. Internet is your friend in this age of AI. Literally, AI could map up your route. But you could be an old school like Dr. Leg and Brother Jal here, and just do the good old Google search on military occupational specialties. Do your homework. Seek that mentorship. Find out one or two people that are available that can answer your questions. To be honest, I've alluded to earlier that this is probably about 200 years or so of service between us South Sudanese and the United States Armed Forces. I tell you what, tonight in this room between Brother Jal, Dr. Lake, and myself, there is just the three of us. There is 50 years of combined active duty military service to the United States Army. Right, that's leaving aside Brother Agao, Chief Peter, and then the 30 to 50 others across the services. So there is plenty of mentorship out there There is plenty of information out there between the interweb, between those of us that are have served or continue to serve, right? So there's no reason why any of you out there should make uninformed decision. When Brother Jal joined some 20 plus years ago, when Dr. Lake joined early on, um, in the early 2000s, we did not have this opportunity to have people to advise us, to inform us. You went to a recruiter, you met with a recruiter, and sometimes they just want to ship you. So they're just trying to make their numbers so that they make their quotas for the month, right? Reach out to us. And I apologize here, Dr. Halek. I'm gonna throw a little plug in here. 3sdva.org. 3sdva.org. That is the South Sudanese Sons and Daughters Veterans Association. If you go to that website, you can find more information and how to reach us. And of course, some of us are on social media. That's all I have. Thank you.
Dr. Lay, let me take a minute of your time and then you can close it. Whenever you join, if you decide to join, have a purpose. Make sure you have a purpose. Don't let other people drag you to it. Know what you want to do, because if you're the one you want to do the military, know the reason why you are joining. Because when you enter, you might say like, "Oh, this is not for me." As brother, you might say, "Do your homework," and then now you can join. As there's a lot of resources through us here and through other part of the service, just do it, and then we'll guide you. Whether you're in the army, you want to go army route, we have people there. You want to go to Air Force, we have South Sudan there. Marine, we got people there. Navy, we do have people. So all the branches that military has, we have people that can actually mentor you in any job that you want to do within the military. So brothers and sisters, make sure that do that. Have the purpose. What is your purpose that you are joining the military? Dr. Lay, I yield back to you. Thank you for your time and the show.
Hey, thank you so much, my brothers. To you, our community members, you've heard from these two gentlemen. These two gentlemen have served the United States wholeheartedly, and they have benefited, and their families have benefited from, and so am I. When I first started in 1996, I was looking for a way to join the military. At that time, I did not know anybody. I was grabbed by the Marine. The Marine recruiter took me to a station. I was underweight because I had just arrived from Africa and I did not eat the chicken yet. So the guy took me to McDonald's. He introduced me to McDonald's and he gave me a couple of weeks. I think about 2 weeks later when I came back, I made the weight. So I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I did not know, I did not have the purpose. And I'm saying this to get to the point of our brother Job. I just wanted to join because the Marines uniform looked cool, and Marines is all I've known since the Somali War and in the early 1992, and I just wanted to wear that uniform. When I joined, I got very sick after the basic training, and I had to be discharged within 2 years later, medically. So knowing what you're looking for, knowing why you're doing something, having the why, the purpose, it helps you research better and it helps you take the right route. So as my brothers have said, please do your homework, reach out to us. You are in a better position now than we ever were when we joined, okay? And it is up to you. If this is the route that you want to take, you have people who are more than willing to help you so you can make a right choice. Either to go through college and come out from the ROTC angle, or there is also a OCS direct commissioning. If you have a degree and you want to go to OCS, you can actually go to the recruiting station and apply for OCS if you already have a degree, okay? The officer candidate school, you can do that if you already have a degree and you want to go to whichever branch through OCS, you can do that right now. It's available. And when I was at the Phoenix Recruiting Battalion, I interviewed a lot of young people who have just done their college education, but now they want to do something else. You know, the military was able to access them as officers, commission them with their degrees, and they were able to do great things. Okay, so OCS is another route beside ROTC for officership. And then there's enlistment. So to recap, what we talked about tonight is the military service and how to get to it. So my brothers, Emmanuel Bajo and Joseph Jal and myself, what we want to do is to share the information with our community. We're not here to recruit, and we understand that military is not for everybody. But for that person who want but just don't know how, we are here to help you. We are here to share the information, our path, and the benefits we have. We were able to rip through it, so that you make right choices. We thank you, the individuals who are with us, and those who will watch this thing later. Just know that we're here to help, and we thank you. There'll be more of this time later. And we have a lot of veterans. We have more than 50 veterans across the United States right now, and a lot of people are joining. I was able to meet 2 young South Sudanese here in Fort Hood a month ago. They had just joined, and they were surprised to see me. You know, we had a good conversation, and I actually invited them to a lunch. So we're going to have a lunch, but I think they are in the NTC right now. When they come back, hopefully I will be able to sit with them before I leave Fort Hood area, because I'm leaving the Army. I'm leaving the active duty. I'm going to the reserve. I'm going to finish off the remaining 2 years of my 3 years of my time, 2 years and 6 months actually of my time in the reserve. So we thank you, and my brothers, I thank you for being with me tonight. You have made this show worthwhile, and I hope our people will benefit from the information we shared today. We will do another of these later on, 3 months from now or so, just to kind of supplement. So thank you, and may you all have a blessed night.
Same to you.
Thanks for having us.
Take care.